Hello everyone, welcome back to Chess with MNM. Today we will see one of the games of the finals of the round 2 of Clutch Champions Showdown tournament on leechess.org between Fabiano Caruana and Wesley. Now, before I start this video, now Clutch Champions Showdown is an online tournament, an online rabbit tournament. It's not that famous tournament as Linder's Happy Rabbit Challenge, but I mean it's a beautiful and it's a strong tournament, and this game especially is a beautiful and so exciting game. So let's see what happened in this exciting game. So we see with the white pieces and Caruana with the black pieces. So we see opening this game by e4, the king's pawn opening, e5 by Caruana, knight to f3, knight to c6, and now bishop to c4, the Italian game. Bishop to c5 by Caruana, and now c3 preparing to pushing d5, knight to f6 attacking the pawn on the e3, and now d3. d5 will be the move, will be the white's plan in the future, but now the white has to play d3 to protect his e4 pawn because it was under attack. So after d3, now a6 by the black, and the idea here by the a6 is trying to hunting this bishop, the c4 bishop. Why? Because here, example, if you play something like knight to a5, this doesn't work. First, because you will lose your e5 pawn, and the second thing that simply I can play bishop to b5, okay, and after a6 bishop back to a4, and after b5 bishop back to c2, okay. So now here the idea by a6 is not allow this bishop to comes to the into the b5 square after the black plays knight to a5, and a6. Now the black will play d6, and the threat will be knight to a5. Okay, so here after a6, Wesley castled into the king side, and now d6, the e5 pawn protected, the b5 square controlled, so knight to a5 is a threat to grabbing the light square's bishop. So for this reason here, so we'll still play a4, okay? a4 not allow the black to push b5, also clearing the a2 square for the light square's bishop. h6 now by Fabiano Caruana. The idea here by h6 is preventing any ideas like bishop to g5. Also, we will see the idea by h6 in the future. Here after h6, rook to e1 now by Wesley, protecting the e4 square. So now d4 will be possible in the future, or not now, but in the future, in a few moves will be will be possible because the e4 pawn protected now. So for this reason here, Fabiano Caruana moved this bishop back to a7. Saying to Wesley, if you want to push d4, okay, push it, but don't push d4 with tempo on my bishop, okay? Bishop back to a7 now, and now and now here after bishop back to b7, knight b to d2. Knight b to d2, I want to play knight to f1, knight to g3, our knight into the b3 square, and and preparing to pushing d4. So here after knight b to d2, Caruana played g5, okay? g5, I want to grab more space on the king side. Also, I want to push g4, h5, h4. I will shift the queen onto the king side, and I want to attack your king on the g1. But the problem by g5 and h6 is that mean that this king will be in the middle of the will still in the middle of the board, and this will be so dangerously for the blackest king. I mean, g5 move is not a new idea. Now this move played before, I think, in a game between Magnus Carlsen and Sergei Karakin in 2017 or something like that, and the game ended by draw. But yeah, so I mean, it's not a new move, but it's so dangerously move for the black, because that means that the blackest king will still in the middle of the board, and this is not a good idea for the king's safety. So here, Caruana said, okay, I will push g5 and I will make an attack on the king side. And now after g5, so Wesley played b4. b4, I want to push as you push h6 and g5, and as you weaken the king side. So I will push b4, I will push a5, I will push b5, and I will open and I will weak the queen side, and show me how you will hide and how you will protect your king. Caruana said, okay, it's not a problem. Knight back to g7. The plan is pushing g4 and then knight to g5. And now, simply after knight to h7, knight to b3. Knight to b3. Now, the d4 square controlled by 4 pieces. So, d4 will be my next move. So, here for the season, Caruana, what Nakamura? Caruana pushed g4, okay? g4 attacking the knight. Knight back to d2, knight f to d2, and now queen to f6, trying to preventing d4 push and also shifting the queen, so into the king side to make an attack on the g1 king. But here simply Sosi pushed d4, and it's, I mean, capturing on capturing on d4, of course, it's not a good idea, because capturing is meaning that opening the middle, and opening the middle on your king, it's not a good idea. Here example, after e capture on d4, the white has this strong move and it is e5. e5, I want to capture, also threatening your queen. If you move your queen, I will capture with a check on your king, so you have to capture my pawn. Example, if pawn capture on e5, then knight to e4 comes, attacking the queen. And when this queen moves away, example to the g7, then b5 comes, attacking the knight. Knight back to e7, and now b capture on a6, b capture on a6, and now c capture on d4, pawn capture on d4, and now bishop to a3. This bishop is so dangerously on this diagonals. Also the knight on the e4 is so strong. Also my rook is on your king's file, and there is too many files opened, and also there is too many diagonals opened on your king, so it will be so dangerously for the black to continuing this game. And all of this is just for one pawn. So for the season here, after d4, Caruana said, no, I'm not interested about capturing the pawn, and I'm not interested about opening the middle for my king. And knight to g5, simply I want to make some counter attack into the king side. And now Wesley pushed b5. b5, let's open some files on the queen side. Also, let's attack then the c6 knight. Knight back to e7. Of course, you don't want to capture on the b5, a capture on b5, because a capture on b5 comes, and b6 will be a good and a strong move in the future, because you cannot move this king if you move it, sorry, the bishop, because if you move it, simply you will lose your rook. So this bishop is spinning. Also, your knight is under attack, and it will be so dangerously positioned for the black. So for this season here, the black has to keep the files closed and lock it as he can. Okay, so b5, knight back to e7, b capture on a6, b capture on a6, and now knight to f1. I want to play queen to d3, and I want to attack your a6 pawn, and show me how you'll prevent this. Here Caruana pushed h5. I want to push h4, g6, g3, sorry, and I want to make something on the king side. But so he simply played queen to d3, and he said, do what you want to do on the king side. I want your a6 pawn. Here Caruana played rook to g8. I mean, guarding the pawn is possible. Something like bishop to b8 or to guarding the pawn is possible, but the idea that d capture on e5 will be a strong move. D capture on e5, and after d capture on e5, then knight to c5 comes. Knight to c5 with a triple attack on the a6 pawn. Also, rook to d1 and queen to d8 will be a threat in the future, and will be so dangerously for the black. Also, this 3 pieces is out of the game by this. So for this season here, after after queen to d3, so Caruana played rook to g8, and he said, okay, let's give him the a6 pawn, and let's make some counterattack in the king side. A bishop capture on a6, sorry, not bishop capture on a6, first bishop capture on g5, and after rook capture on g5, bishop capture on a6. Now let's exchange some pieces. So bishop to d7, I don't want to exchange any piece. Bishop to b7 attacking the rook, rook to d8, and now queen to a6 attacking the bishop, bishop back to b8, and here so we still played knight to e3. Knight to e3, let's bringing the knight to the attack. After knight to e3, here Caruana pushed h4. I want to push g3, and I want to make something on the king side. But here, simply after h4, Wesley played knight to c5. Knight to c5, so strong move by Wesley. The idea here, you cannot capture by the pawn. If you capture by the pawn, simply you will lose your queen. And the idea here by knight to c5 is grabbing and threatening the light squares bishop. And one of the most important defenders of your king, because if I captured this bishop, so the light squares, this light squares, it will be so weak, and I mean it will be so hard for your king. Knight g3 here by Caruana. Let's threatening g capture on f2, because so here knight capture on d7 doesn't work, because g capture on f2 will be deadly. H1, king to h1, and now queen f capture on e1 will win a rook. So for this season here, f capture on g3 first, and after h capture on g3, now knight capture on d7. Rook capture on d7, now you don't have bishop to c6 because there is knight on the e7 controlling that square. So here simply, we play the rook to f1 attacking the queen, queen back to h8 threatening checkmate on the h2 square, h3 preventing the checkmate, e capture on d4 trying to make something, trying to do something, but after e capture on d4, here Nakamura, so Wesley played knight to d5. Knight to d5 give me the defender of the c6 square. Knight capture on d5, there is nothing to do here. Bishop capture on d5, putting a pressure on the f7 square. Now the threat is queen to c1 check, and I mean it will be deadly check. How you prevent this? Here, after bishop capture on d5, d capture on c3 played. Here, if you play something like um, rook to d8, trying to preventing the checkmate, then queen to c6 will be deadly. Queen to c6, king to f8. Of course, king to e7 will be checkmate by one by bishop rook capture on f7, and if king to f8, then rook capture on f7 again. And after king to g8, then rook capture on c7 comes, and after something like king to f8 again, then the other rook comes to the f1 check, and your king has no squares to move, so you have to sacrifice your pieces, and by this it will be a checkmate by rook capture on f6. So for the season here, here, after bishop capture on d5, something like rook to d8 doesn't work, so here simply Caruana played d capture on c3, queen to c8 check by so obviously rook to d8, and now bishop capture on f7, king to e7, queen to e6 by so Wesley, and it was at this position that Fabiano Caruana resigned the game. Now why Caruana resigned the game? Because now simply the threat is if you play something like king to f8, then here I will play bishop to g8 check, and after king to g6 only move, then queen to f6 will be deadly. King capture on g8, and now queen to f7 will be a checkmate. So for the season here, after queen to e6 in this position, Fabiano Caruana resigned the game. So yeah, this is the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget us by the like and subscribe. Also, you can support us on Patreon. The link is below the video if you want it. And you can check out my previous videos, and see you in the next videos.